VSG journey, let me share my truth. With wisdom and grace, I'm bringing the proof. Beauty, health, got that RM view. Unbox review, showing what's new. Shopping hauls, travel, and insights to share. Brooklyn Stace with a style so rare.
Well, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Brooklyn Stace, and it's time to cook. So today on the menu, I make one of my favorites, some roasted vegetables, and I'm just going to get that started. But first, before I do that, I'm also going to get the chicken that I had marinating in the oven. So let's start with that. But just some little housekeeping things. You know the routine. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Share it with people who are looking for healthy recipes or alternate ways to cooking. I'm not a chef, but you know, I like to do my own little thing, and I like to share it with you guys. And actually, doing this keeps me on track, right? So that's why I like to share it with you, and for you to see some alternate ways of cooking, or maybe you do cook these items that I'm cooking. So as always, please drop it down in the comments what you use. I'm interested in seeing other recipes. So let me know what you use. Do you roast vegetables? What do you put on it? Maybe I'll try it your way. If there's something that you want to see me cook, or you have an idea, or you wanted to know how to prepare a certain thing on a little bit healthier, or just alternate seasonings, let me know and I'll prepare it for you. Who knows? Maybe it's already on my menu. All right, so let's get into it. These are the vegetables that I'm going to roast, but first I want to get the chicken in the oven. So let me go ahead and remove this and bring my roasting glass Pyrex or roasting dish. It's sprayed with olive oil. I could have lined it with foil, but you know, I like to just spray it with olive oil sometimes and just do its own, I always say do its own thing, but you know what I mean. It cooks up better sometimes without parchment paper or foil. All right, and so let me show you the chicken. So I have chicken that I've put in my bowl, and I did get these off of Temu, but if I could find it on Amazon, I will. If I can link it on Temu, I will. And some of you may have this. I have it in the clear, well, this color. It's not really clear, but as clear can be, right? Opaque, or whatever the proper terminology is. And you know, I love my mixing bowls, and I love these bowls because it also has this rubber bottom on it, so it protects it from the heat. But what I did was instead of covering it with foil or plastic wrap, these work great, and they come in all different sizes. And so this is my chicken that has been marinating for about 24 hours, and I made a marinade. Let me show you what I put in it. And so to get it that color, I use Sazon. Now, I tend to stay away from this. I have it, and I don't use it a lot because it's MSG. So I don't, you know, use MSG all the time if I can, but it's in it, and, you know, it makes things taste better, so they say. But, you know, we try to stay away from that because of the effects. So one of this has the coriander, and it has cumin and annatto, and this one is con azafran, or saffron. All right. And so I took one packet of each. And then what I did was I actually chopped up the yellow pepper and the red pepper and the green onion. Oh, green onion. That's funny. I did put green onions, but obviously this is not green. This is the red onion. And I took the garlic, and I also put some seasonings that I like to use. So I had some garlic and herb that I like to use, but since this has salt and everything, it's pre-seasoned, I didn't put that in there because, you know, the Sazon has some salt. I did put a little bit of adobo in this all-purpose seasoning with pepper, con pimienta. So I did put a little bit of that, but not much. What I did do, instead of putting oregano, I put the Simply Organic, the Herbes de Provence, which has oregano and a whole bunch of other Italian seasonings. And it has thyme, it has rosemary, it has basil, it has parsley, oregano, tarragon, marjoram, and organic lavender flower. So this makes things taste better. So instead of just putting oregano, I put Herbes de Provence. And because I like garlic, even though I chopped up some garlic, I put some extra garlic powder in it. And of course, black pepper. I did not put complete seasoning in this. And so I've had this marinating. So it's time to go ahead and get this out. I could use my tongs, but you know what? I'm just going to use my gloved hand and go ahead and mix this up a little bit more and just randomly sit it in the pan. I could have used chicken thighs. I don't really like chicken thighs per se that much. I do like wings. This is one chicken breast that I did take out. So I'm going to use that. Of course, I have more, but being that I had all the chicken thighs and, you know, this is going to last me more than enough days, more than a few days. I didn't want to take out too many, but I just wanted to know what a chicken thigh tastes like with this marinade. Now, one thing I didn't do is put green pepper in this marinade. Usually I do, but for whatever reason, I don't know why I didn't put it. So I may cut some green pepper up and just randomly place it in there. We'll see. So let me just take off this glove. And actually, I'm actually going to use this small amount of green pepper. Then get my little cutting board. So I'm just going to move this over out of the way a little bit. You guys can still see. Push that over. And I'm just going to cut up just a little bit of the green pepper and just randomly put it in there for flavor. Now, I have some of this green pepper that I'm going to use for my vegetables, but I'm just going to just put a little bit of it. And like I said, it has enough flavor, but I'm just going to put this in there like this, like so. And that's it. You know, it doesn't need a lot. But since I want that green pepper flavor, I'm just going to place it in there and let it go ahead and roast or cook. Let me put that over here and that'll be fine just like that. And then I'm going to take some foil and just cover it for a little bit, and then I'm going to take the foil off. I don't necessarily have to put the foil on, but I kind of want it to slowly cook and, you know, get the juices going. And you notice I'm not putting any, I didn't put any water or anything, because it's going to make its own juices with that, the juice from the marinade and the little bit of olive oil that's inside the marinade. And then also with the, what do I want to say? I was concentrating on making sure I didn't touch the chicken. The marinade, the olive oil that's in the marinade, and then also the fact that it's a lot of moisture in the chicken, and the chicken will make its own juices. Okay, so I'm covering this up. My oven is already preheated to 350 degrees. So I'm going to put this in the oven. Then we're going to get our vegetables going. Now it's time to get our vegetables going. Even though I have the glove on, I'm going to rinse my hands, just to be on the safe side, right? Always make sure you clean your hands and no cross-contamination. All right, and so let's go ahead and get our vegetables going. Now, I've already used some of this green pepper, and that's fine. So let me just cut this up, and I'm just going to be using this vegetable medley, broccoli, carrots, and cauliflower. It's already washed and ready to eat. Some people may want to continue to, you know, to rinse it again. That's fine. I generally don't. If you want to, that's fine. Do your own thing. And I've had this for in the refrigerator for quite a bit. I was like, oh my gosh, let me go ahead and use this before it goes bad. I'm just going to leave that over there on the side. And I don't know, guys, I had this plantain, so I may decide to use the plantain over in there just for a bit of sweetness. I do love plantains. I love plantains. Love, love, love it. Do you love plantains? How do you make your plantains? Let me know. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and just, you know, julienne, just finely chop this up. I could leave it just like that, but I always do mine in half unless I have it really, really thinly sliced or julienned, and then I tend to leave it whole lengthwise. But you know, this is what I'm going to do with that. And you can do yours any way you want. You can put them in squares or, you know, spears like this. Another recipe I like to use is to you leave it whole like this, julienne or in spears, and then take it and wrap it. I did make a video. You could look at my healthy recipes. If I can find it, you know, it's in my playlist, guys. You can feel free to see how I did that with the, I think I used chicken, and then I did some with fish and wrap it in parchment paper. And I, you know, did that as a guess homage to B. Smith. That's where I got the recipe from in the early 2000s. I went to an expo and she was there and she made it, and I went home and tried it, and I've been making it ever since. Like I said, since the early 2000s. So yeah, Shout out to B. Smith, if you guys remember who she is. A really, really great chef, and she's no longer with us. But she was really beautiful. And she had a restaurant in New York, to which I've never gone to, but I, always knew about her. And so I was in South Carolina, and while at, like I said, at that expo, I went, and I'm going to put some more onion because I just love red onions. So I'm just going to put just a bit more red onion. But yeah, I always knew about her, and knew that she cooked really well. She was really healthy, and I think she had Alzheimer's, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, if you know who Beef Smith is, or heard of her, or have her cookbook, what do you like? If you know who Beef Smith is, just make a comment about her. So I can choose to use my garlic press, or just go ahead and chop it up. Sometimes, I don't know, I just forget about the garlic press and I just go ahead and chop up my garlic, and then I'm like, oh man, I should have used the garlic press. So I actually have it here now, and I'm going to use it, and it does make life easier. It really does. These are some large garlic cloves. So, 2, I almost want to use 3 because I don't know, I love the taste of garlic, especially when it's roasted. But I just love garlic just anyway, roasted, sauteed, doesn't matter to me. I just love garlic. But today I'm going to use my garlic press. And so let me go ahead and press that on right into the thing here. And you see how it presses it out. And what I love about this, I think I showed you in the last video, that it has this little garlic cleaner situation here. So all you do is just push it, and then you run it back, and then there you go. And so it does have that much left in it, and you could choose to add that just for flavor, or toss it away. And so what I'm going to do is actually, I don't know, I might use that. Like I said, it's just for flavor. I might just toss it on over in there and use that anyway. Waste not, want not. Every part of the garlic is good when it, as per me, I wouldn't throw it away. And I didn't, as you see. So just go ahead and, there you go. Look at that. Makes life easier, right? So you don't have to do all that chopping, dicing and slicing and chopping and chop again. But, it's to each their own. And so again, I'm going to just scoop that out, and it's going to go in there for the extra added flavor. All right. So that's it for the garlic. Let me just get that off the side there. So that's done. See that? See how we just omitted a whole bunch of work? And we're just going to throw that in there, our chopped up vegetables. Look at this pretty color. Isn't it? It's, this color is beautiful. And it kind of makes it more appetizing when you see all the colors, and then you see how healthy it is to have all of that mixed in like that, right? All right. And so with the flavors, here I go. I'm going to actually use my garlic and herb, just a little bit of it. We never really do measurements around here. I'm going to use the herbs of Provence. I get it from my grandma. And as you all know, your grandma, or even your mama, your big mama, right? They really didn't use measurements unless they were baking. And sometimes they didn't even use measurements then, right? And so we just put just a little bit, because this is, really fragrant, really potent. And I'm going to use some black pepper. Instead of using red crushed pepper. You could use red crushed pepper, but I don't all the time like red crushed pepper. So black pepper, and even though it does have some salt in the garlic and herb, I'm actually going to use this black salt. And like I said in the prior video, look that up, the properties of black salt. A lot healthier than your regular salt, right? So I can choose to use the fine or the coarse. So I'm just going to crack a few. And it has a potent type of scent and flavor to it. So I just want to use a little bit of that, not too much. And then I'm actually going to take some avocado oil. You can use olive oil, avocado oil, but I use it interchangeably. Hopefully I don't sneeze because of the pepper. And I think I'm going to need to sneeze, so let me pause for a second. All right, and so I'm back. And so as you can see, this beautiful arrangement of vegetables. And I realized I didn't have my light on, so I might need to fix that. Hold on. There we are. That's a little bit better with the lighting. I was using the natural sunlight coming from the window over there, and the light coming from my stove over here. So I'm using some light so it'll be a little bit better. So sorry about that if you couldn't see, or it didn't give you a better view. But look at that. Now that I put the light on, don't those beautiful, the beautiful colors. Sometimes when I roast my vegetables, I love curry. So I like to put a little curry in it, or sometimes I use this, oops, that's the wrong one. I use the roasted vegetables and fries. You've seen me use my use this on my jicama fries. I have a video on jicama instead of using the regular French fries. So you can check that video in my playlist of my recipes. And then also, like I said, I like to use curry powder. So, I go from a cross between this, and I do have the Blue Mountain Jamaican curry powder. So, I don't know. I'm feeling like I want to put some curry. So, I'm just going to sprinkle just a little bit of curry just to add in the flavor profile. And I'm going to skip this roasted vegetables and fry season, which is really, really good. And then that's it. So those are all the seasonings that I'm going to put in here. And so what I'm going to do is just go ahead and just mix that up, get all the seasonings and that oil, the olive oil. It smells good already. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. I just want to make sure all the broccoli, usually I will cut the broccoli, probably once I get it on the pan, I probably will cut this stalk of broccoli. And this this little big stalk of cauliflower. And, just get that well incorporated. And now it's time to get that on a cookie sheet. I'm actually going to use some foil that I have. Like I said, I could use the parchment paper, but I'm going to use the foil with this since I already have it out. And let me break up that onion so that the onion will be evenly distributed. You can also use some tomato, but it's not time for me to go shopping, so I kind of want to preserve the small bit of tomato that I have for like a salad or, a breakfast wrap or something like that. So I'm not going to add tomato, especially since I added the peppers. So we're going to leave it at that. So let me get the pan and I'll be back. All right, so I have my foil lined cookie sheet. And we'll just dump all of this out onto the cookie sheet and spread it all out evenly. It smells so good. It makes it so appetizing. I swear I really enjoy vegetables. There was a time, maybe for about 3 months, when I said maybe 4 months, I think, or maybe even 6 months. I'll say 4 to 6 months that I didn't eat any meat. I just wanted to try that out for size and see how that worked. But, I didn't have it all together in terms of, you could say that I don't want to eat meat, but you really have to, it's a science, and you really have to know what you're doing to get your proper nutrients in. And then, I just didn't like all that Beyond Meat and meat substitutes and all of that stuff because it was greasy. It's full of oil and fillers, and, it's mystery meat. It's processed meat. So here I am trying to be healthy, but, you got to think about, you're not eating meat, but what are you flooding your body with? So yeah, I had to stop that. And then it was too greasy and oily, and it cooked and it looked funny. And so, yeah, so I just got out of that. And then I just went back into introducing meats, but not all meats, because sometimes meats gross me out. They really do. And I don't want to look at it. I can't stand to touch it. So yeah, so let me go ahead and cut this up and just chop that in half. When I say chop it, I mean, cut it up in half so it won't be so huge. And I could have put this on the cutting board, but I'm not. Just going to use the fingers. Make sure I try not to slice my finger off. And yeah, so just want to cut that and make that smaller and try to put the tops down. I could make this one smaller as well. All right, and put, like I said, the tops down because they sometimes, well, not sometimes, they will get really roasted and burned. So, all right, that should be good enough. You can't be perfect, right? Patty perfect. So look at that. Doesn't that look good, guys? See how good that looks? I know you guys want to eat that already, right? Nice and healthy looking. We're going to get this in the oven and with the chicken, and then we're going to check it and stir it in a couple of minutes, maybe about 15 minutes, and we'll check it and stir it and uncover our chicken. And then I'll let you look at that and see how that's going, and I'll be back. But again, make sure you give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribed if you're not. All right, so let me get this in the oven and then clean up all this stuff here, and I'll come back and see you in a little bit. All right, I'm back. Let me show you what is happening with the vegetables. It's coming along. It's been a quick, actually it hasn't really been a full 15 minutes, but I'm just going to show you, you know, how it's coming along. As you can see, it's steaming. It's smelling great. I just want to mix things up a bit, turn over the broccoli and the cauliflower, and just continue to spread it out to give it room so it won't steam. I actually, you know, want it to be roasted. So just wanted to show you that. And then next I'm going to show you how the chicken is doing. Let me put the broccoli in between the vegetables. And I don't know why I just did that when I said I wanted to spread it out, right? I didn't want to crowd it. But yeah, so just wanted to do that for a little bit. Let me turn that one over. Let me turn that one over. I'm actually going to crowd that little piece. Yeah. And put that back in the oven. And then I'm going to show you what the chicken is looking like. And here's our chicken. And let's take the foil off of that. Look at that. Did you see that steam? Did you catch a whiff of all of that? That looks really great. Actually, what I'm going to do is take and turn it over. And really, this chicken breast is done. But I'm just going to turn it over and let it roast and get some color on it. And let the juices get on the other side of the chicken. And, you know, let that juice kind of dry up. And it doesn't take long to cook either. This smells really great. And, you know, the seasoning you can use on chicken, you can use on beef, you can use on pork. You could definitely use it on pork because that's like a, what do you call it? Sofrito. And so you can use it on your Dominican style. If you make some Dominican style roast pork, I think I did a video on that. I know I've made it several times. Whether or not I actually did a video, I don't know, but you know, check my playlist. I'm going to check my playlist too. But yeah, you can definitely use it on your Dominican style roast pork, or pernil as it's called. And you can, like I said, use it on chicken, and you can use it on beef, you know, whatever meats float your boat, you know, experiment a little bit. All right. So I'm going to put this back in the oven and let it cook up and brown up, and then I'll come back. So again, make sure you do like, share, and subscribe. Let me show you this up close. There you are. See that? And so let me get this back in the oven. And I'll see you in a bit. I just thought I'd come back and show you what I'm doing while my chicken and vegetables are cooking. I took this opportunity to make some more granola. If you guys want to see how I make my own granola, for those of you who haven't, again, it's in my playlist. And I'll link the entire playlist in the description, and maybe pin it to the comments. And so you could see what it is I'm doing, or how it is I make my own granola. So I'm going to put some cranberries in that mix that I just mixed up. I like cranberries. I could put some chocolate. I don't even think I have any chocolate chips. I didn't put any unsweetened. I don't think I have any sugar-free chocolate chips. I do have butterscotch, but I don't know if I want to do that. I want to, you know, stay healthier. And since the butterscotch is not unsweetened, and you know, I have some honey, some raw organic honey in here, and I have some maple flavored syrup. Well, it's sugar-free. And since, like I said, the cranberries will add some sweetness to it, I'm not going to add any additional sugar. I really like this raw and unfiltered honey. It's 100% pure. And, you know, just staying away from too much sugar, because I tell you, the weight the pounds do pack on with sugar. You'll be surprised. And I'm trying not to do that. You know, I will go in between 5 and, I don't know, 8, not really 10 pounds. But, you know, even in doing that, it also depends on how much I exercise too. Because you can eat all that stuff in moderation, as you all know and heard, you know, your whole life, everything in moderation. But, you know, when you don't move, that's when you don't burn off those extra calories and that extra sugar. And I don't live a strict keto life, but, you know, close to it. You know, it's not I'm not, you know, I'm a dirty keto. I'm not a fanatic about keto as I once was. I tried it and I never actually went to the strict keto. And so I said, I'm just going to stick with, you know, just watching the sugar and the carb intake and not so much be a keto fanatic. So, you know, a keto police person, you know, because you have the keto world and they're like, oh my God, there's too many carbs. Oh my God, there's too many sugars. I'm like, okay, calm down. So I'm just going to use my parchment paper that I had for my oats and nuts when I roasted it and just put it in this pan and cut some of it off. I don't need all of that. So let me actually cut some of this off. And, you know, this is just so that I won't waste so much parchment paper. I mean, there was nothing on it but the actual seeds and the nuts. So, I mean, that's what's going back in here. And this is how you know, keep it down. Actually, it didn't work too good on this, but, you know, that's how you keep it down on a flat pan. Some people actually clip it, you know, put clips here and clips there. But I don't do that. Why? Because the weight of, sorry, hopefully that's not drowning out the sound, but the weight of the oats and the granola is going to push this down anyway. So this is hot, so hopefully I won't make a mess. There we are. So now I can one-hand it and just put that in the pan here. Yeah, it was hot and then it was heavy, so I knew I couldn't one-hand it as I'm, you know, scooping this out into this pan. And I put a little bit extra more cinnamon in it. And see how it's weighted it, the weight of this weighted it down. So there's no need for the clips. I mean, it's not like this is going to fly anywhere. And this is not going to touch the top of the oven. So I don't have to worry about it, you know, burning up in the oven. But sometimes, you know, parchment paper, depending on, you know, how you have it, how high you have your oven, you know, the ends will burn a little bit, you know, or scorch or just brown up a little bit. So that's it. So I'm going to put this in the oven while the vegetables and the chicken finishes up, and I'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Make my snack and my breakfast items with this granola while I'm making dinner. See, it's all about multitasking. So now I'm going to put this in the oven. And there it is. All right. So let me go check on the vegetables and put this in the oven. And so let me take my vegetables out of the oven and show you that they are complete. This is roasted enough for me. Now, some people may want it a little bit more roasted, but for me, it's good. They're roasted. They're done. I don't want them overly roasted myself. I have had it. I could have turned it up to like 400 or 475 and really, really roasted and toasted it, but I'm not going to do that. So this is good enough for me because, you know, some of the onions, some of the broccoli, as you can see here, if I bring that up close, let's see if you can, yeah, you could see how roasted, well roasted that is. So that's good enough for me. And as you could see, some of the onion, you know, is well roasted. Here's a piece of the, I was about to say cucumber. Here's a piece of the cauliflower, and you can see that that's well roasted, and because of the curry, you see the yellow color. So that's actually good enough for me. So guys, that's the vegetables. And now I'm going to show you what the chicken is looking like, and it is done. So hold on and let me put this up and get the chicken. All right, and here is the chicken. Look at that, guys. Doesn't that look good? OMG. Smells good. It looks good. As you can see, it's not too dried out. It's not too roasted. It's just perfect. Now, you know me, sometimes I like my things a little bit crispier. You could leave it in there and And it can, oh, you hear that sizzle? Yeah. And so sometimes you can leave it in there and let it brown up even more. But no, I am not going to do that. I think that's great enough for me. And especially since this didn't really take that long to cook, because this was a thin piece of chicken breast. Just want to make sure it's in the, ooh, that actually burned. Piece of the juice. You see, it made me drop the chicken. So let me show you a wing up close. And then there's the drumette. Let me show you that up close. Look at that. And yeah, so this is good enough for me, done enough for me. Like I said, you can brown it up more if you like, but I don't want to dry it out. And there it is on the other side, even if I turn it on the other side. So yeah, so that's good enough, guys. So I'm going to be plating this up, and then it's going to be time to eat. Who wants a plate? All right, so it's time to plate it up, and let's eat. Why don't we? So I'm going to start off with a flat and a drumette. And I'm going to possibly do two. I don't know. We'll see how that works out. Because I'm going to eat a lot of vegetables. And I don't know. We'll see just how this is going to work out here. If I will be able to eat what I think I'm going to be able to eat. So the thing is, you know, to make sure I get enough protein in. So the protein, of course, the vegetables, but I take my multivitamins. So, you know, I'm getting the recommended vitamins and minerals, but just want to make sure I get enough protein as well as the vegetables. And that's why I kind of, you know, substitute protein with the nuts and my protein drinks and my protein yogurt, and just making certain that I get what I need, because I don't want to be deficient. And I decided not to use my plantain. I'm going to save this for another recipe. And so, guys, this is it. This is what I'm eating. This will be my dinner. I am eating the chicken and the roast vegetables. So, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this. Make a comment. Let me know. Does this look appetizing? It looks appetizing to me, and it smells so good. Especially, you know, with the marinade that I made. I mean, it just gives the chicken another, it takes it to another level. And so I'm excited. Let me go and eat this. It's just about, you know, making things different and enjoying your foods as much as you can. You know, do something different. I mean, you guys, when you go to eat, you go out to eat and you eat the roasted vegetables. This is what they're serving you. But they're putting a whole lot of other things on it as well. So you know what I mean? So when you make this at home, you can control what you put in it, and at least you know what you're putting in your plate. Okay, so let me just get a thumbnail real quick, and we'll make it pretty for the thumbnail. Put some parsley for color, for decor, right? And there you have it. Look at that. Yum, yum, yummy. All right, guys, so it's time to eat. How about letting you get the first bite? What do you want? The pepper, the broccoli, what? How about I give you a little bit of the broccoli, a little bit of the pepper, onion. Who said they wanted some cauliflower? Oh, I heard somebody say they wanted carrots. You wanted all of it. Okay, well, here you go. There you are. Look at that. Broccoli, red onion, red pepper. The yellow pepper is in there somewhere. And the cauliflower. There you go. Eat up to your health. Good, good, good. Mmm. That curry. Man, it tastes good. So, you want the flat or the drumstick? Let's go with a piece of the flat. And normally, of course, I would eat the wings with your hands, but you know. Let me show you what that looks like. Nice and juicy. Very good. Smells great. Guys, that is so good. You guys need to try that marinade. Okay. Talking with my mouth full. It's time for me to go and finish this off. So as always, I want to say thank you so much for watching. Take care and be well. Bye-bye.